Check, check. Okay, it's now 4 minutes past 5. I think we've allowed enough time for people to begin to meander in. I'm hoping that when they hear things are going on, they will accelerate their pace and ascend more rapidly to the level that we are at. There is another room downstairs, a spillover room that we had created, or we have created, in anticipation of the possibility that this room becomes too full. Last time it was pretty crowded, but I don't get the feeling we're going to need that room today. But if anybody feels overwhelmed by this particular space, then feel free to chill out in the more relaxing, chill meeting room downstairs. Hello, welcome, hi, hi. So the idea is to have a moment of silence before we begin, but people are still walking in, but I think we will have to just make it a moment of partial silence as we focus ourselves and prepare for this next stage of the process. So thank you all for your patience. Thank you for being here today. Hi guys, welcome, come in, come in. So today this is the second RAM, Residents Assembly meeting, in the sequence of meetings that is heading towards the asking the community whether they approve of the revised RAS mandate. So the RAS is the Residents Assembly Service, and the RAS has been operating under a policy and mandate for the last 15 years, 20 years, I think. How long has it been? The same mandate has gone on. It has been unchanged since the day it was created, and it is in desperate need of updating and revisions and being brought into step with the way the RAS is operating today. It's now performing a much wider role than it did in the early days. In the early days, the RAS was essentially responsible for biscuits and tea at general meetings, but now it has become the central facilitator of the collective decision-making process, the process by which decisions are made in the community. And so today we're being asked so we've already had one RAM, Resident Assembly meeting, where a revised version that's me, but delayed, I think. Hello? Check. Yep. Okay. So the last time we were here, we had Martin, and he presented us from Auroville Council. He presented us with a proposed version of the new RAS mandate and policy. It was then at the end of the meeting, we invited people to send in their feedback and comments. Those feedback and comments have been gathered by the Auroville Council, incorporated into the document where possible. Not all feedback has been incorporated, but they've done their level best to modify the document in response to the feedback received. The feedback has been anonymous, so they have no idea where the feedback has come from or who sent it. They have been driven only by the mission to make the mandate as well crafted and well framed as it can be, incorporating feedback as much as possible. So, to bring us up to speed on the process, I would like to welcome to the stage one of RAS's exciting new members. Please welcome to the stage the incredible Avinash.
Hi. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Hi. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna give you a brief overview of where we are in the process. I didn't realize there were these transitions. Okay. So we had the first RAM on the 4th of October 2024, where the council okay. We had the first RAM on the 4th of October 2024, where the council presented their proposal for the revision of the RAS mandate. And then there was a feedback period, which they have then incorporated into the proposal, and that's why we're here. Now, I think we can just kind of go quickly through this. Yeah, so where they will present the revised proposal, and at the end of this meeting, there will be a pulse, and it's through this pulse that we will then be informed as to what are the next steps. So either if we all agree that the proposal is ready to move towards to the vote for the final decision, then it goes to the voting. If not, we will have another RAM and prior to which, again, there will be a round of feedback which will be incorporated. Can we move? Yeah, we can keep moving, actually. Yeah, so we are here. Yeah. Yeah, we can kind of keep moving. Right. So, yeah, this is the first scenario where we have decided that the RAM participants have agreed to that the proposal is ready for voting, and and so there will be a 2-week voting period, prior to which there will be an RAM2 report. And then there's scenario 2, where we have decided that the proposal is not yet ready to move towards decision, and so we will have the report as well as another round of feedback which will be incorporated, and then we will announce the next RAM. Maybe go to the previous one. So how do we take the pulse? That's what those green and red cards are for, and the online participants will also vote on a poll that will open up. So this is just to illustrate that if there are more green cards and yeses from the participants here, then we know it is ready to move for decision. Yeah, green is yes in this case, right?
Green means good.
Yeah. And the second situation is just if there are more reds than green, right? So kind of self-explanatory. So if we had agreed to move forward to voting, we will open up the RAS will open up the voting on the 25th of January. It will go on till the 8th of February, and the voting can happen online and in person. You will all receive a personalized voting link, and the details of the in-person voting will be shared later when the voting opens. So that would be our decision, I guess. Yeah, and second situation is just the opposite, where there's more red than green, more no's than yeses. And then as we had said earlier, this opens us up to another round of feedback and revisions to the proposal, and then we will announce the next RAM, and this process kind of repeats till we are ready to move towards decision. That's all I had. Thank you.
Please thank Avinash. Thank you, Avinash. So, as he just said, at this point, we're now looking at the revised version of the proposal. It has all the feedback incorporated. Next, we're going to hear from Martin from Auroville Council, and he is going to take us through the new version of the proposal, the feedback incorporated version of the proposal. As you watch him present it, your mission as a resident of the community is to ask yourself, am I okay with this? Am I ready for this to go to a vote? Just consider it as he talks your way through it. Ask any questions. Just to be clear, we can't make any changes to the proposal at this stage unless we go to another general meeting. So Martin's going to present the proposal in its current form with the feedback incorporated. If you have any questions for Martin at the end of this, please don't hesitate. We've also got people watching online at home. If you're online watching not from here in the meeting room, allow me just to encourage you to stick around to the end of the meeting, because that's when we're going to take the pulse. So we do need you here to register your preference for whether we proceed to the next stage of this decision-making process. So if you do have the time and the space, please stick around to the end of the meeting, because your participation is critical at the end when we decide what we do next. Okay, please welcome to the stage from Auroville Council, Martin.
Thank you. So, am I okay here? Yeah? Okay, good. Yes. So, yeah, I like the bit at the bottom. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So we're trying to go together. Let's see if that will work. Maybe can you do it for me, Rich? Thank you. Okay. So what I was asked to do is just to do a quick run through of what we're actually looking at in terms of the document. This is really a repeat of what we did last time at the last meeting, but just to remind ourselves what the RAS is and what's it doing. In case there's anybody here who didn't come to the last one and doesn't know all of this, but we'll go through it very quickly. The purpose is to support the community of Auroville to organize itself towards its highest potential. So the Residents' Assembly Service, RAS, was created to assist the Residents' Assembly to formulate and arrive at decisions via the community's decision-making process. The RAS manages this process and reinforces it through communication campaigns designed to ensure that residents are aware of the issues involved in particular community decision and the importance of their role in the collaboration process. The Residents' Assembly Service is an ever-evolving service. That's why we're here. In Auroville, with a broad goal to enable the widest possible participation of residents in Auroville in the creation of Auroville. It supports the collective to embody the Auroville Charter and the dream by fostering trust and unity. One of the RAS's key responsibilities within the community is in regard to its management of the community's collaborative decision-making system, which is what we're doing today. Over the past few years, the role of the RAS has expanded significantly, and it aspires to meet the needs of the community, to bridge the working groups and residents' assembly, and to tailor all procedures related to the decision-making process in the most inclusive way. So this is the the new mandate, the improvements that were made, which were presented in the last meeting. It has a broader scope. It empowers residents, independence and transparency, adaptability, improved information access, and a collaborative approach. Next. So we've since we met last, and it's been quite a while, I think, because we actually took rather longer than we expected to do this, mainly because of the number of people that actually participated in the feedback. We're really happy that we got so many people came and actually gave us feedback, and useful and feedback as well. So via an online feedback process, the RAS invites residents to submit feedback. Feedback is submitted online and is submitted to the authors of the document. In this case, it's the Auroville Council, anonymously. So we don't know who the feedback came from. So if anybody says, where was my feedback? I'm sorry, I don't know, because I don't know who you are, which bit of feedback you had. We'll show you in a minute how we did it. So the feedback is submitted on, and it's anonymous. Feedback is also provided by the RA Working Committee and the RAS itself. They have to do it after all, and for consideration. So the process of integrating the feedback. We have a method of integrating the feedback which we believe to be honest and as efficient as we can, so that we consider every piece of feedback we get, and you'll see in a moment how we do that. We consider every piece of feedback, and we decide whether it's, first of all, whether it's relevant to the document itself, because we get some feedback which is talking about other things, whether it's feasible to do, and whether it improves the document. So anyway, feedback is laid out on a spreadsheet in discrete subjects. Comments are made by the members of the council team collectively and individually about the feedback. So we do a process within the council team, a collective process where we look at each feedback item. So we decide whether it's relevant in value to the document. Where possible, in accordance with these conditions, the changes are decided and the feedback is integrated in the document. Some feedback is simply a positive statement of approval. This too is recorded. So actually we did get a lot of positive statements of approval where we had people just said, yes, I like it. And we're very happy to receive those as well. So 65 people gave feedback. Of those 65 people, we had to break it down even further because some people gave feedback on different sections. So we had 98 elements of feedback given. You can imagine that takes a while to get through. But 44 people, 68%, said they agreed with the mandate without any reservation. So they said, yes, I like it. So we were very happy. So this is the table itself. Well, this is a screenshot of the table that we are working spreadsheet, if you like. It's the thing that we use in order to make sure that we've registered every bit of feedback and that we consider every bit. So basically on the left there, this is the feedback. That column there is where the feedback that we received. And you can see the number 6 there on the left, it says, I agree, fine, good. The next one says, I agree with the points on the revised mandate. Great, okay. And what we've actually done is we counted all of those. So that's how we got that result. So, the next bit, we had to actually work out which section they were talking about. So that's where it's a section. So we put that in there so we know which section we're actually dealing with. And then actually we move to the last one there, which says, which is notes and comments. So that's each of us, or collectively, we make a note or a comment on the feedback, and then we look at it later to decide whether it's going to be, we're going to do something about it. So, and then the middle column there, suggested changes of wording. And you can see we've, on the second one there, number 5 on there, so that says we're going to make a change for that one. We need to establish a duration for the RAS members, how long their term of office is. So we put a new section in the policy. And you can see that a little bit later anyway. But there are some where, look, so we decide, where there's a blank, we've decided, sorry, we don't think there's any changes needed for that. So what I've done next is we've done the main feedback elements that we have integrated something new into the policy or made a significant change. So, several people actually asked about the relationship with the council. So, and they were concerned that the council might be interfering with the RAS's and the RAS's work and their decision. And although we've worked, actually, the council's worked with the RAS for years and years without any problem, but nevertheless, if somebody's concerned about it, we should say something that will reassure them. So what we've said is that in the, so this is paragraph 5 as it happens, we've said collaboration with the RAS without interfering rather than works in close collaboration. So what we've said is that we're not going to interfere, the council's not going to interfere with the RAS, but we still want close collaboration. We have a lot of work that we do together with the RAS, and we have a collaborative work. And this ensures the processes are held fairly. So anyway, the RAS is directly answerable to the Residents' Assembly alone, okay? They have to make their answer to the Residents' Assembly. This, by the way, the one on the right here is the change that we've made in the mandate. The RAS is, and is independent of the working groups and services, upholds an unbiased stand. The Auroville Council works in close collaboration with the RAS without interfering with its work. So we hope that sort of settled that particular concern. So we've also, these also come from suggestions by the residents, by the way. We've removed, the RAS also maintains an online repository because they feel that they're really unable to do that. It's not yet implementable for various reasons to do with the system that they're working under. But we've added an extra work of theirs to organize and, no, we've added organize and facilitate general meetings for the residents, regardless of decision-making processes. But we've actually added, and you can see that at the bottom here, they may organize. That doesn't mean to say that any time a resident goes to them and says, please organize this meeting for me, that they're obliged to do it. They can decide whether to do it, whether it's an appropriate thing to do. So they may organize and facilitate general meetings for the residents, regardless of whether decisions are taken or not. And the last bit is also important, according to their capacity and availability. So you can't ask them to go and do something tomorrow. It's, they have to, we have to see whether they have the capacity to do the work. Next. So, this is another thing we got several comments about, which is the part of the policy which is about the selection of the members of the Residents' Assembly Service. Actually, in the past, we've never had any big problems with that because we've had so few people actually applying. It's quite a difficult job, you know, but nevertheless, we had to put something in the mandate in case there's a sudden rush of people wanting to join. So we've said that the selection process now requires decision-making between the council and working committee of the Residents' Assembly, rather than the council alone. So it's giving us a joint role, if you like. So, and there are two parts to this. The council and working committee together interview the applicants, along with the RAS members, because the RAS members obviously have to work with these people, so they can have a say in it, but they don't, not part of the decision. The council and working committee make the joint decision. Those selected are announced to the community for a 2-week feedback period. If any adverse effect feedback is received and reviewed, the feedback, any adverse feedback is received and reviewed. The applicants are interviewed again by the council and working committee for a final decision. So the other thing we've added is a trial period for the members, so that if they do prove not to be not to suit them, that work, or they, you know, the group itself says no, they're not really the right for this, they have a 3-month trial period. So and we were asked also to give term limits. So we introduced a 3-year term for everybody, but with the possibility of reselection. Now we have some members of the RAS, Tatiana, who has been with the RAS for quite some years, and everyone values her work, and we really wouldn't want her to have to leave because she's been there longer than 3 years. So we felt that that 3 years would be a good term, but they could be anybody can be reselected. So and we've also added resource persons in there. So added the provision for calling for additional resource persons as needed. Next. So we've also added a bit in the policy here about in case there's a conflict within the members. It's rare, but again, we've had this with working groups, and we have to be aware that that can happen. So if the majority of RAS members believe someone is not following the mandate or causing disharmony, the matter will be referred to the council and to take steps under the conflict resolution policy. Now, the conflict resolution policy has a number of options in it which allow a conflict to be resolved. And the council and working committee together will decide on further action. So we've left that open. So the other concern that was raised was about a minimum number of members. Now, we really felt that the service should continue even if we have very few numbers, but there should be a minimum number, but somehow we decided that 3 was probably the minimum, but if it fell below 3, the group could continue to function while it sought new members urgently. So that's why we've put the first one. So the second one is the restriction on the members being a member of another working group. And we felt that both the members and the resource persons should not be a member of another working group, that it would be somehow a conflict of interest. So what we're looking at on this slide is, what are the implications of all of this? Have we sort of improved the mandate, and what's happened to it? And frankly, I think we've improved it quite a lot, and I'm really thankful for the people who've given their feedback. The new mandate defines the relationship with the council more clearly, giving more autonomy to the RAS while maintaining accountability. It introduces members' term limits and trial periods through points 5 and 6 of the new policy, improves inclusivity. Yeah, that was another point. I don't know whether we talked about translation services. We have introduced, again at the request of somebody, that can we have translation services where they're needed? I hope nobody needed it today, but it would say. But but obviously there is a limit to what to the availability of translators. So again, it's up to the RAS themselves to decide whether that can be done or not. Number 4, strengthens the oversight of member selection through joint decisions. That means that the policy of the council and working committee doing that work together. And the conflict resolution procedure, which we just talked about. So that's more or less it. However, I'd like to just briefly go, just press escape, and go to the spreadsheet. There's a spreadsheet there somewhere. That's it. That's it. Just to, can you just sort of scroll down a little bit? Oops, it's all right. Just a bit. That's all right. That's fine. Just to see what our task was and what we've actually done, just so that you can see we've not cheated. Now, this document is quite big. There were, as I said, 95 bits of feedback. If anybody wants a copy of it, please just write to the RAS or the council and say, can we have one? We're not going to sort of send it to everyone because it's pretty boring, actually. If you want to read all of that and try and work it out, but just scroll down a bit more and just see what... so we have... yeah, and look, point 7, full stop missing. Okay, we've corrected that. So, so just a bit, brackets weren't there. There were a few which, said, just a minute, we're missing a bit. We're missing C for some reason, which is what happened. Can I have a look? It's collapsed, yeah, just a second. Yeah. That's what it's a Google form. Hang on that for me. This is, just a minute.
Do you think you could give us an example of a comment that you didn't include?
Yeah, sure. We can do that. Just a minute. Let's close this and do it again. Wait a minute, we can just go back.
We're now trying to add back into the former category that we had before that disappeared. To technical pointing out the experience of going through this feedback.
Yes.
Let's go for the
General. Like a category of feedback?
Okay.
He had the C now.
Right. So, can you just do the same, but try not to lose it? So, yeah, let's go one to one that we didn't. Well, there's one right in front of us.
Take one which we...
Well, which one do you want to take?
she requested for one that we didn't accept.
Yeah, we didn't accept. Yeah, okay, the number 9 there is one we didn't accept. So the master list has never been updated and contains people that are not even in Auroville anymore. This is an issue for me. Well, it's an issue for me as well, but it's not relevant to this policy or this mandate. So this is about the RAD policy, which is a separate policy now. Now, they were probably confused because the previous policy actually contained part of the work of the doing an RAD. So it was actually part of the mandate, how to do an RAD. And now it's not, it's completely separate. It's a separate document, so it's not part of the policy anymore. Wording of paragraph change. I find, okay, number 17, 18, paragraph 3. I find this paragraph, the wording is not clear and concise. It might be improved with these edits. Yeah, we didn't actually agree with that. It was, we put a comment, one of us has put a comment there, look, saying the meaning of the words are important, the suggestion's not accepted. So we felt, no, don't agree with that. It wasn't, I really appreciate people wanting to improve the wording, but sometimes we have to say, no, I'm sorry, we don't agree. You can go down a bit more. Paragraph 4, I'm picking these at random, so I'm not choosing any that.
Is something that you remember that you were struggling, maybe we should go for it or not, or something like
There are 95 of these, so I'm struggling to remember the whole thing. Can anybody else remember? Can you remember one?
Well, there was one that asked for the working committee. That's where we had.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I have to say, the working committee, the inclusion of the working committee in the selection process was a difficult one. In the end, we actually agreed to include them, but there were questions asked. I mean, really, do we want to complicate it? Do we want to make it like this? And what happens if the working committee and the council can't agree, and all of this? But in the end, we felt that this was a better, more inclusive decision-making process, that we include both groups. So again, as I said before, we've struggled to find members in the past, so it's not really been an issue choosing the person, because we've had so few people to choose from. So, but nevertheless, we got to get it right. So we tried hard. This one's long. Oh gosh. It's okay? I had enough? Yeah, okay. I thought you'd finally give up.
We have kind of segued into questions and answers, so perhaps...
Sure, yeah, any questions?
They would like to address to council who are...
Yes, Tom.
I have a question. It's regarding the time in Auroville of a member. Because we had a policy, if I remember well, I may be wrong, that to be part of one of the major working groups,
right,
one had to be in Auroville at least for 5 years.
Okay.
And I do not see it considered here.
It's in there.
It is in there?
Yeah, I'm just looking for it in the... Let me get my mouse. I can't do it.
Okay, if it's there, it's all right.
Yeah, the requirement is the majority of the members should be over 5 years in Auroville.
Is that in Auroville or as Auroville?
Let me check.
The majority need to be Aurovilians who have been here for at least 5 years.
Yeah, it's in here. It's there somewhere. Point 3, yeah. The RAS majority of RAS members should preferably be residents for at least 5 years.
But what does it mean, majority and preferably?
The majority of RAS members. Look, as I pointed out earlier, we struggled to find enough members. So it's really a decision that would be made by when they were selected. If there was somebody who really looked, it says preferably. So it means that we would prefer to do it that way. We'd really try not to make rules that restrict what we can do. We've often had really good members of the RAS who are new Aurovilians and have really done well.
And also to add, like Tatiana, she joined the RAS as a newcomer, and she's been with the RAS for 14 years now. So,
yeah, good example.
What's worth noting also is that new arrivals to Auroville have a really valid perspective on Auroville. They see things that people that
Yes.
I would like to, I like the tone of the whole formulation because, you know, rules and regulations, sometimes what we believe are instruments for progress are being used against us and imprison us. So I think the overall tone is very soft, and I appreciate that. I still feel, for example, this whole thing about not being a member of any other working group. Let's say somebody would really be motivated to participate in the RAS, but he has been in the school as a teacher. I think one should reformulate to a sense that one say, yes, he should not be a member of any other working group. Other, what do you say in English? Unless there are very strong reasons which allow somebody who is in a service or something like this. I think the general policy, I think you make the rules and then you give the provision for breaking the rules, which is very good.
We've got a power problem.
There should help forward.
Sure. Well, look, let's keep that somewhere. Sure.
I would hate to hear somebody saying, everybody wanted me, but the rules don't allow me. That should not.
I totally agree with you, actually. But we are under quite a lot of pressure also from those who are very concerned about conflicts of interest. And so there were, that's something we also have to take into account. Now, can I just make the point right now that any changes we want to make now would have to mean that we went to the next stage, which I'm not objecting to that. All after getting it perfect, but we have had quite a long period of feedback. So so any other points of clarity? Okay, yeah.
Oh, it works.
Oh, yes, it's working.
Yeah. So,
super.
No, just working group. Fred mentioned schools. I didn't think, I would consider working groups, working committee, council.
Sure.
So forest, farms, schools don't apply as working groups, no?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't object if there's a clarification like that to put in, to say official working groups or something, you know. Yeah, but we're making a change which is, sure. Yeah. Any more?
So,
okay, yeah.
You say that the RAS may organize, but isn't there like an obligation to do an RAM at least, or try to do an RAD or whatever you want to call it, if you have 60 signers?
Oh, that's a different thing. What we're talking about is may organize meetings where no decision is being made. That's what so it's, this is general meetings effectively. They may organize general meetings, but they don't have to. For decision-making processes, that's their job. So anything which is a decision-making process, yes, they have to do it. And that's in the mandate too.
Okay. Then have you looked at the foundation pressure, or what kind of influence that they might derive from this, because they are doing that? I mean, that's...
Sure.
No? And then the other one, it's connected, it's... did you check legal if everything...
This has gone through the working committee also. The working committee have given their opinions, and I think we've made one or two small changes for that. But they weren't sort of big significant. One of the things that, for example, was that they did prefer to go with a selection of the members with the council and working committee. So that was because of legal reasons. But yes, it's been checked. So it hasn't got, I don't think it went to, I'm not sure whether it went to the lawyer. Did anybody tell me? No. Anyway, but it's been checked. Don't worry. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, we've, as far as the foundation is concerned, look, as far as I'm concerned, we're moving to the future. This is about doing what the community wants us to do. And I'm not going to live on air say anything derogatory about the foundation, but nevertheless, this is about the Residents' Assembly. Any more?
And sorry, the online participants are very welcome to share their opinions, questions.
Online?
Yeah, online participants, I don't see any comments.
Check. Any questions from those of you watching from wherever you are? In a cafe, at home, on a beach, the top of Mount Kilimanjaro? Will you see straight away if questions come in, Tatiana?
No.
You won't see? You're saying no, you won't see, or no, there are no questions?
Yes, we will see. Now there are no questions.
Okay, great. How long do you want to wait for a while, or shall we just?
I think we have to proceed.
Okay.
Next step.
Shall we just check and see, are there any more questions from the room? Yep. So we'll get you the mic. 1 second. Wait. Okay.
One quick clarification regarding the 3-year term. Can it be done as many times as needed?
Say again.
The 3-year term.
Yes, we do. We didn't want to put any restriction on that. It's basically that it can be continuously renewed. And frankly, I think this brings a maturity to a group if they can have somebody there who really knows what they're doing. Okay, good. Thank you, everyone.
More questions? So shall we go on? Tatiana, do you want to explain what happens now?
The pulse time. So let's check pulse. So friends, you remember that you received, most of you, cards at the entrance? Thank you. So now we will see if the attendees for this meeting agree to move on, to move forward for the next stage, which is the decision, which we call sometimes voting. So it's not the voting itself, it's just our decision of the participants here and the participants online. So now they can see in the comment section the poll. So if you would like to go ahead with the revised and refined proposal presented by the Council, please raise the green card. If you object, if you would like to have another round of feedback, another RAM, Residents' Assembly meeting, please raise red card. So like green card, we move on and start voting. And red card, we meet again, we have another round of, both cards please. No red cards at all. Online participants, please also participate. Thank you. Give us a moment. I don't see how many online participants gave us. Yeah. What was the vote? You can see. I cannot. Okay. Great. So we are ready for the next step. We will publish the report within a few days, and we will send the personalized voting link as always on Saturday, coming Saturday. And all information you will see there in user notes as well, on all our media channels, in WhatsApp, on Telegram. And thank you for coming. All your inputs are so valuable. Thank you so much. Now, Jessie.
Yeah, so please, we have an amazing group of people here. We've got Tatiana, Avinash, Vignesh from RAS. We have Riju, Martin, and Satya from Council, who have obviously worked very hard on this very boring work. Boring but valuable. So just please give all these people a warm round of appreciation. And congratulations, you guys. You advanced the community to the next level. Shall we have a moment of silence? All right. Okay, thank you, everybody. I also forgot to thank, we have Rajiv up the back, who's been doing our sound and visuals. Rajiv is an absolute god. He also helped us with the sound for our play. He's a wonderful young man, and he's just an asset to the community. Thank you, Rajiv. Yep. Oh, candles, right, sorry. And Kaosang from the Tibetan Pavilion has asked us, as you walk out, there are some small candles down there on the wall. If you could take one, it's not mandatory, but she has asked, she's invited us to take one and light it and put it on the wall as a way of bringing the light. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. And okay, so the cards, just bring them back here, give them to Tatiana or one of the amazing RAS team. Yeah, if you have the power to stack chairs or stack cushions, that's really helpful.
And thank you, Jessie.